ball in the net. Now, actually, some questions.
Hello and welcome to UCL versus Kings Hockey Varsity. You join us again for our second day of live streamed events. Yesterday with the basketball, you're joined again by Raphael Hofer and Harris Morris. And also Louis from Kings and Andrew are our hockey specialists today. UCL off to a flyer, winning both the men's and women's basketball, as well as the women's fencing earlier on, and we'll give you news on the men's fencing when we get it.
Do you want to tell us a bit about your clubs? Louis, do you want to start?
Yes, thank you both for that very kind introduction. Yes, so just running through the team sheets here, and then a little bit about what's been happening just for the club in recent weeks. So very briefly, in goal we've got the infamous Nemo Wong, and followed by Alex Husband playing at number 11. Dan Murray unfortunately has been injured, which precludes him from starting today. Ethan Kim, our veteran centre-back, the 34-year-old blinder, is coming back for his fourth varsity. Tommy Cooks over at number 27. Toby Kingsbury, the captain, taking the side out, hopefully capturing them to glory today. Paddy Geddes over from Northern Ireland, features in the number 18 shirt. Tom Grout, a fresher this year, he starts. Harry Coulson this year is coming back for the third time, and he is playing in number 19. Dave Swarbrick, another fresher, he is playing up front. Aman Gola, fantastic, the eagle-eyed assassin over at the defensive line out there, and Max Lovis, Jack Berg, Marcus and Thomas York.
They'll be taking a knee now.
Both teams taking a knee this year to support the Black Lives Matter cause. And Andrew, if you could run us through the UCL team quickly.
Well, first of all, gents, it's absolutely fantastic to be here at Lee Valley today.
Thank you for coming, Andrew.
In goal, we've got Mr. Ed Peachy, a late call up to the squad. Hopefully he won't be too busy today. Number 1, we've got James Mayman playing left back, Mr. President. Elliot Dennis in centre back. We've got Jacob Criddle, number 3, midfield, Matthew Cavalier, number 4, Chris Fitzgerald, number 6, Matthew Whitey, number 7, Amamoma, 8, Sahir Patel, 9, Jimbo Jet Murphy, number 10, Luke Cargan, who's not playing but part of the squad, number 11, and Oliver Gadsby, number 12, Zane Pratchett, 13 at right back, Henry Hudson, 14, Jonathan Tang not playing again, Tim Rain from Germany, the import, number 16, Mikey Barton, 19, number 20, Matthew Rogers, and of course, at the ripe old age of 33, Ahmad Khan. His wife and kids will be delighted today.
They absolutely will be, and as I'm aware, this fixture has quite a tense history, isn't that right? Do you want to take us through the last 2 years, because it's been one apiece, hasn't it?
Well, absolutely. Moving into this, my third and final year, it is one apiece. Certainly, we won our first varsity game in my first year, a very tight battle, 2-1, only a goal in it. And then in second year we were a little bit off the ball, unfortunately losing out 3-0, but still a tight fixture nonetheless, and I'm sure that this one will prove equally tight. As we can see, battles out in the midfield and all over the pitch for today.
UCL now attacking, have the ball up front on the wing, number 9. Does he take it around this player?
I'm a moment on the ball right now, fantastic stuff. I believe that's Gadsby, and that should be a short corner for UC. Oh.
Early start. Now Louis, why are we not seeing you on the pitch this year?
Yes, unfortunately injury, much like our Vice President this year, Dan Murray. We have both been precluded from the starting lineup. A great shame, but I'm glad I can lend my assistance and support in the form of commentating and urging and spurring the Kings men on to victory, which I hope we see enacted out today.
Great shame. Kings playing some good defence, hitting the ball out to the side. UCL looking to go on another attack.
And here we go around the back. This is the bread and butter of UCL's game. And I think we should expect to see a lot of the game like this. I think UCL will be quite dominant on the ball today. As we go inside the D, that's Zane Pratchett inside the D now with a chance at the piece.
Oh, just misses the player.
It's very unlucky.
Kings now on the fast break. Kings running with it.
And a David
UCL
Swarbrick
getting
breaking the
back.
halfway line. Advantage play, but it's brought back, and Kings will take it from the halfway. Interesting early butter of the transfer across the back, but it is also the bread and butter of the Kings men to have a watertight that not tested too much today, but an interesting and cagey start today's proceedings, which is obviously highly expected given the tense atmosphere and nature of this game.
Do we have any predictions for today, guys? What do we think?
Well, gents, the UCL camp is very, very confident. We had a 4-0 prediction from the coach, and to be honest, in my opinion, anything less than double digits for UCL today is going to be disappointing. You know, last year 3-0, we shut them out. They were pretty quiet all night, and expecting to see the same thing here. Nice and cool evening, so I expect UC to be dominant.
So saying UCL, Andrew thinks it's going to be at least 10-0. What do we think over there, Louis?
Well, I've got to say, I would regard myself as a realist, not an optimist. 10-0, I think, Andrew, is a bit far-fetched, who knows. But I think, similar to the last previous years, 2 years previous, we should be expecting a close Kings win, of course. I've got to stay true to my roots. I do truly believe that if we are going to pull a number on this UCL lot, it is going to be tonight. And hopefully we will see a victory.
UCL steal it in front of goal.
And the umpire rightfully blowing there.
Not sure about that.
The Kings having to recuperate, reorganise at the back. And
Kings lucky to get away with a call there, Louis, no?
well, it was a tight one, bit 50-50, but UCL might have another opportunity here, Andrew.
Yeah, that was Tim Rain on the ball there. Exchange student all the way from Germany, involved in the German national team setup. It's quality. We've got some fantastic
We've got some
players.
internationals for UCL.
We've scoured the earth for our hockey players, and we've picked up Elliot Dennis, the captain, the skipper today. He's from Belgium. Of course, Tim Rain, number 16, who we just saw on the ball now from Germany, and from home, number 4, Matt Cavalier, regarded as one of the most promising prospects amongst England hockey. So big shout out to him and his family in Bolton. I'm sure we'll be delighted to see that he's playing for mighty UC at Lee Valley on this Wednesday night.
Bolton will be screaming tonight, won't they? How about big players tonight? Who are we looking out for?
Good block there by the Kings goalkeeper. Quick shot from the UCL.
I think the one to watch for UC is number 7, Matthew White. All the way from Hong Kong. Fantastic player. You know, his head may not be there. He might not know what sport he's playing, but the sheer physicality and skill that he has is unmatched.
And for the Kings men, it's that big man up front, Dave Swarbrick, or Davey Swarbuckle, as we like to call him in the club. He's a swashbuckling fellow, a bearded man, and one of the more senior chaps to grace this turf here tonight. He's got a good goal-scoring record under his belt, albeit not this year, but then again, not much hockey has been played this year, for obvious reasons.
Glad to be back on the pitch though, Louis.
Oh, he will be, as will all these guys. And actually, I had a moment earlier this evening thinking about, you know, how fortunate we are just to be watching hockey once again and seeing these two great sides go up and do battle. And also, what a gorgeous evening and setting that we're in here tonight, gentlemen.
Lovely grey skies over London tonight, over the Lee Valley Hockey Centre in Stratford.
Louis, I've got a question for you. What happened to the women's varsity game? How come the Kings women's couldn't put up a team to face the mighty UC? What happened there?
Well, Andrew, you should know that I'm the president of the men's club, and all comments should be instead directed to the female hockey president. And in keeping with Jose Mourinho's tactics, I will quote him, I prefer not to speak.
We were, of course, hoping to meet you earlier for the women's hockey. However, we were let down by the Kings side. Apologies there
I heard they were too
from the
scared.
team.
The ball
UCL in the box, shot by UCL, it hits the post!
Sahir Patel, he'll be disappointed with that from Watford Grammar School. And he's told me that if he wins today, he will be getting a TeamUCL tattoo on his chest. And let's be honest, we all want to see that. So even if you're rooting for Kings, you want to see the tattoo.
And talking of chests, we want to see Toby Kingsbury putting in the hard yards up front. It's not an easy job. I've been there myself, having played forward, putting in some good runs. But here come UCL in attack now. Goes through Toby Kingsbury's legs. Edge of the D, number 3 into the D. And that's Stoic defending. And they get a shot off. Over to you, Andrew.
That's a fantastic goal for UCL.
German import.
Was it number 16, Tim Rett?
I think it was UCL. Making an impact straight away.
Loves slapping net, as he likes to say. And that's a fantastic start, you know, less than 10 minutes into the game, and that's really setting the tone for the rest of the evening. Now, the early nerves are out of the way, you know, we've got some, here we go, the Burlington Bertie
Who's coming
start.
on now? Who's coming on for UCL?
Honestly, I have absolutely no clue.
That's fine, we'll get back to that.
We've just got news from fencing, and it looks like there was a KCL victory, which means that the score now is 4-3 in the Varsity Series, with Kings leaving it, hoping to end that 4-year drought.
Well, it's certainly hotting up over at the fencing by the sounds of it, Harrison. Hotting up here as Kings come into the attacking third. Max Lovis on the edge of the D, into with a reverse hit, and that is a bit of a ropey attempt there at trying to link up with that big man Alex Tan, famously tried to set off on the road to the 100 kilogram club a year ago. I must add he's done a good attempt at it during lockdown, but not quite got to the 100 kilograms he would have liked to have achieved.
UCL defenders back with the ball.
Here we go, that's the famed aerial from Elliot Dennis. Not worked out quite there, but you know, a bit dodgy on the uptake for number 15. Matthew Cavalier cleaning around the back there.
Good interception from UCL, but Kings managed to get it back on the edge of the D.
Dangerous here, very dangerous. Cavalier on the floor, it's going to be a concern. Keep that. I think is that a penalty corner for Kings? That's not what we want to see.
Still early in the game. UCL currently 1-0 up. Good start overall, Andrew. Happy with it?
Yeah, I think it could be 2 or 3, to be honest. We hit the post, very unlucky. Bit concerned about Cavalier on the floor there. You know, last Saturday night he did have a few too many Red Bulls. He was on the floor for a different reason, but hopefully not the same reason today.
And Louis, what are you hoping to see from Kings now from the penalty corner?
Well, hopefully a nice, well-rounded, well-structured short corner routine, which we will see enacted out here in with the block. Toby Kingsbury out wide, very good one run, but it's a bit of carnage and another short corner. And can the swashbuckling Swarbick put in another good delivery at that top of the D?
Not a great touch from the Kings player there to set up his teammate, but here they go for a second chance.
A rusty first short, but can Kings deliver and hopefully claw back this losing position?
It's all about confidence, Louis, and you know that first one's going to knock them down a bit, don't you think?
Yes, I would tend to concur. It's a nervy start, but in goes the short corner over to Toby, and it looks like we're going to have a third short. Bit of a wild swing from Max Lovis, but nonetheless we go back to the byline, and it's going to be another short corner. Hopefully Kings' third time is a charm. Andrew, are you nervous?
Absolutely not.
Never a doubt in his mind.
Great pressure from the UCL defenders there to get out to the short corner. Looking to do it for a third time in a row now.
Here we go now. Change of personnel on the injector. It's that big Finnish man, Toby Kingsbury. In comes the ball at the top of the D. Trapped. Taken one. David Swarbuckle on the ball. And that is a fourth short corner. Surely Kings have got to convert this. That is 4 on the bounce.
Happy with the first 3 attempts, Louis?
Not quite. I've not seen the ball go in the back of the net, so absolutely not. Tommy Kooks, second attempt, 4th short corner for Kings. Poised here at the Lee Valley. Out goes the ball, slow delivery, not what we wanted to see. David Swarback with a reverse hit,
what a save from the UCL goalkeeper there.
Did that hit his face?
We got to be happy that Ed Peachy's going to be delighted. He's all the way from Somerset. He wasn't supposed to play today. The keeper who was supposed to play dropped out of university 3 weeks ago. The Kings must be praying to their gods. So, but you know,
he must be ecstatic with that start from him.
I mean, it's going to give him real confidence, and he's going to build into the night. He shouldn't be busy. To be honest, I'm not surprised that's the only thing he has to do today.
Another lob pass from the UCL defence, finds its man this time.
I will concur, that is a lovely drag flick.
Beautiful! Here comes the shot!
That's good a great save from Nemo Wong, the number 1 man and the number 1 position to stop that ball. Fantastic save yet again, Andrew.
I think that was a shot from Matthew Rogers, our very own twos boy representing us on the pitch. History and Russian student, 3rd year, former social sec. Very important part of this team. What's the free hit for UCL just outside the D? Mr. Jacob Criddle with his chiseled jaw on the ball. Matthew Rogers tried to tell me that Jacob Criddle's got 3 legs, but I'm not too sure about that. But
everyone seems to have missed that pass.
This is not what we wanted. This is a 16 for UCL, but we should see the high press here. They've been working it on the training ground.
It was a nice tactical leave by our big senior man, Mr. Kim, at the back there. I'm sure he did that on purpose to secure a nice 16 as Kings have the ball roughly on the halfway line, playing left to right in that brilliant scarlet red. And hopefully they can come out victorious. It's been a bit of a cagey affair thus far, Andrew.
Cagey, and we're still 1-0 up. Imagine if we played at full strength. Here we go. Here's the press of UCL in action. Harry Coulson on the ball, but he gives it away to the German import Tim Rain. Oh, but James Maidman.
He's thrown it. What happened there, Andrew?
I think Maidman's been spending a bit too much time making sure all the club are doing very well, and getting a sponsorship as well. So that's Mr. President. He's excused of that.
And similar to UCL's bag, a nice transfer around the back between Mr. Kim and that big man Golar. A resident of London, he was fortunate or unfortunate enough to live in Stratford himself in first year, depending on your point of view. UCL with the boy now around the penalty spot. That's a goal-saving tackle in from that man all the way from Scotland, Jack Berg, coming south of the border to rescue the Kings men at the back.
I think you mentioned Golar there. I believe his older and better looking brother is a former UC player, a former victorious member of the UC team at VARSITY a few years ago. So it's a long corner here, and I went to watch them train, and this is what they've been looking for. This is straight off the training ground. All the way back to the last man, passing around the back. This is ideal.
Good interception by the Kings player there.
And was that part of the plan, Andrew? You said that was what they were practicing.
You know what? We've got to give Kings something.
And here they come with it, something.
And it's that man, Marcus, fresh off from an internship interview. He tells me that he did rather well, all the more contributing to our employment percentages post-graduation. And it's swashbuckling Swarbrick having a little tussle there, not just with the player but the umpire, and UCL in that man, James Maidman, the president, transferring it safely across the back.
Ultimately, Louis, no matter how well he did that interview, he still went to Kings, and that's not going to help him at all. Around the back here, a bit nervy from Elliot Dennis, which we're not used to. He's known as a sort of club Adonis. He's 6'5". He wanted me to tell you that tonight. And shout out to his family all the way back in Belgium.
Beautiful ball down
connecting with the German down the pitch, number 16, end-to-end
Good hold-up
start.
play, finds a man in the middle. Keeper comes out to meet him. Tries to chip him. Oh, good save.
That's a decent save from Kings, I'll be honest.
And it's that man, Nemo, again. I mean, how many times is he going to have to be tested? We've got to shore up this defence somehow and start getting stuff forward. And Kings looking a little bit under the rack here as UCL are in the attacking final third. A nice ball forward out to the right-hand side.
Both teams bringing on fresh legs there. Another as well for UCL. Kings ball.
And a 16, yes. It's about time that we start getting some decent spells of possession. Hopefully we can get this ball moving nicely down into the wider areas and get into those channels, get the ball up to that big man, number 14, that blonde-haired, blue-eyed freak, Toby Kingsbury. And UCL have dispossessed Kings here, takes it to the byline, shot into, and couldn't quite get there. It's that man, number 19, on the floor.
That's yet another interception from the defence there, Louis. You must be starting to get worried.
Never a doubt in my mind. Well, I tell you what, it's
like playing them back isn't quite pulling off at the moment.
It's a numbers game, and surely I do slightly concede that this is going to start to really get quite tiring. As Alex Tan is that big man. He's already got an undergrad at Leeds, loves university culture so much he thought he'd come down and do another undergrad all over again at King's, the better university here. But will they be against UCL? And a shot comes in. Very close.
Just wide.
KCL riding their luck.
You called one of your players a blonde-haired, blue-eyed freak. I think the freak was a bit superfluous. They gave to Kings after all. Let's be honest.
In the case of Toby Kingsbury, I concede. Yes, absolutely. He's on the fringes of not only the club but societal expectations and norms.
That's the president of King's Men's Hockey Club calling his own members a freak, ladies and gentlemen.
The belief within the Kings team is undeniable. UCL, a tight-knit family.
All good-humoured and good-mannered. Tommy and I were freshers together, and actually, if I reminisce back at those lovely days in the vault, the student union, where this is, of course, being beamed live to. Thank you for tuning in there. He was also one of the men I shared that great 2-1 victory over UCL in all those years ago. And that, unfortunately, a reckless act from that man, Max Lovis, number 16, recently gone for the tie-dyed blonde hair rather, a popular
Pulling it
lockdown
off,
look.
Louis, do you think?
Pulling it off? Jury's out on that one. I prefer not to pass comment.
Here we go, a short corner for UCI. They spent a lot of time practicing this. For flickers, we got Whitey or Gadsby. It looks like Oliver Gadsby from Perth School in Cambridge is lining up for this one. Or maybe not, something different. I have no idea what's happening. Amma should be nowhere near the flicks, I'll be honest with you. But number 8, Mr. Amamoma, lining up. Let's see what they've got here. Cavalier to inject.
What a lunge.
Here we go, and oh, it's a slip, and it's
They've
working
worked it-
out. Somewhat.
Oh!
Oh, stop time. The umpire has no idea what's happened. To be honest, I don't know what's happened. The umpire doesn't know what's happened. Let's just give it to UC.
See, Louis, that's nice from UCL. It only took him one try to actually get a shot across, you know?
Gents, my back is firmly up against the wall here. Kings are absorbing far too much pressure, and unfortunately it looks like, I was just going to say how unfortunate it looked like it may have been a flick, but it's been reversed the other way, and Kings now have the ball. And again, I'm imploring the men on the pitch, please keep hold of the ball, get it into those wide areas, get it up to the big men up front. Harry Coulson, number 19, has taken to the pitch recently. Again, if we're talking about haircuts, decided to get one himself, and by Jove, he looks fine as
That's
ever.
hit straight out. What was that, Louis?
Yeah, nerves clearly.
Tactical?
A tactical bit of possession in territory, maybe, but I'm not sure he intended to do that. I'm afraid not in his own defensive third. Nice bit of skill by Tom Grout, one of this year's freshers. Dispossessed by that man from Northern Ireland, Paddy Geddes, and here he comes now down the left-hand side, challenged by UCL. And it's more King's ball. Hopefully we can get some meaning passes together. It slips through, up to that man up front, Harry Coulson. He looks up, just in front of the halfway line, over to Marcus. Andrew, you getting nervous? We're approaching the goal line. We might get a nosebleed at this rate.
At this rate, it's gonna be 3-0 to UCL. Honestly, at this point, Kings have got nothing. I think this is the first time I've looked to the right, to be honest. But this is what I was expecting, to be honest. I think we've got Chris Fitzgerald, number 6, our fitness tech, on the pitch. She's been doing a fantastic job during lockdown, keeping us all fit with the Zoom fitness sessions. As Kings here take the ball from the sideline, dribbling around the D. Not sure where they're going, but there we go. Inside, nothing's on.
Beautiful
They don't want
clearance
it,
from
Louis.
UCL.
The Kings players they just don't want it today. I'm telling you, it's over.
Well, I mean, we can take positives from that. A good run there by our big man Alex Tan down the right-hand side.
Oh, that's for sure.
Straight in by Paddy Geddes, and he hangs his head in shame. Number 26 jogs back to the halfway line, and so he should. We need to be capitalising on these offensive positions. Some good channel running there, but nothing for the forwards yet.
Quite early to be shooting for Hail Marys. Do you not think, Louis?
Well, it could be.
Is the pressure of the UCL defence getting to them?
I mean, the UCL defence, in all honesty, gents, hasn't been tested that much, but I'm sure that will change. We've now got our veteran who's come back for a Masters this year, Thomas York. He loved the Kings so much, he thought he'd repeat and do another year, except this time doing a Masters. As we see the ball come out to that man at number 6, bit of a miscontrol, and
He's
Ethan
met
Kim
by the Kings defender.
very commandingly takes control of the ball.
We saw UCL beat the press there with real ease. Mr. Chris Fitzgerald, you know, to be honest, he should be playing in the twos. I don't know why he's here, but you know, he
confidence in your squad.
Well, let's talk about the people who aren't playing today. Imagine if they weren't. Mr. Luke Cargan. He's the future captain of the team, and he's probably gutted to be missing out through injury.
Where is he? Oh,
he's sat on the bench. You can't miss him. He's the best looking one on the bench. He's wearing a blue shirt, shorts, and I think he's got some very nice sunglasses. And we've got Mr. Jonathan Tang from the same school as myself, who's missed out today. But, you know, we had a squad of 18. They had to cut it down to 16, and some tough decisions had to be made by Mr. Elliot Dennis.
If we are talking about good looks, I'll raise you with a certain Alexander Boozman, who has just now graced the field. He's a little bit like Bambi and I sometimes, but what he lacks for coordination, he certainly makes up for blonde hair, blue eyes, and Spanish skin complexion. He's got lovely hair, lovely skin, and a half-decent hockey ability, and he backs it up off the pitch as well. He's been voted in for next year's president, and it's a delight to be handing over to him as Alex Tan takes a slight tumble. Time off the watch. Is the umpire going to bring out a card here? It's getting a little bit spicy as we're approaching half-time.
Most of the spice being provided by the UCL players.
Because we want it. Let's be honest, we want it. And I think a card here would be a bit premature. I think Louis got to agree with that. It would be a bit premature. But let's see what the umpire does.
Perhaps I am prone to getting slightly overexcited, but when I'm seeing Alex Tan on the halfway line, hands on hips, number 22, you'd struggle not to be. And is there going to be a card or a chat here, Andrew? Who's that man the umpire is talking to?
Look like they're about to kiss.
I believe that might be Matthew Gregory Rogers, who, you know, in his time, he did play for Kings. He didn't like this comparison. He's a bit of a Sol Campbell figure. He played for Kings, but now he's playing for UCL. But he's a valuable member of the UCL squad. Former associate. I love that man. The umpire he's quick on the whistle today, but you know, for Kings that might be a good thing.
Too quick for your liking so far, Andrew?
To be honest, I just want to see hockey. I just love the game. I just want to see the game flow. Again, another whistle, but to be fair, that was a clear foul.
Yes, and stoic defending, unsurprisingly, from that man. I keep mentioning him, but Paddy Geddes down that left-hand side, a stalwart in our defence, and a lovely turn there by Alex Tan, and he picks up a foul in favour of Kings. A chance to throw some men forward. We're looking up, and the sun is starting to peer through this rather overcast but still warm June evening.
I think you'll find there are the fog lights, Louis.
Yes, the artificial suns in all four corners of the pitch. In this box over the halfway line, it is rather difficult to see what the weather conditions are doing out there. But here comes Toby Kingsbury, our captain for today, number 10, dispossessed. And David Swashbuckling Swarbrick, dispossessed on the edge of the D, but UCL, stoic defence. And it's a little bit bitty. It's a foot there for Kings.
Ball.
And here we go now. This is going to be a real test. In goes Dave with the hit.
Takes a shot.
Saved.
Another brilliant save.
And I'm not entirely sure what happened there, but a fantastic and promising sign from Swashbuckling Swarbrick.
Andrew, you must be happy with this reserve goalkeeper. 2 saves now in the game.
I mean, Ed Peachy, I don't know what he's been doing with his spare time, but he's not the player that I saw a few days ago. We've got to give a shout out to Andy Zhu. At the back of the IOE, but I hear he doesn't know where he is, to be honest, but we're glad to have him. The freshers have been quiet so far, can't lie to you. We've got Sahir, number 9, I think, and Whitey, the man to watch. He's a bit embarrassing, to be honest. Number 7, he's a bit of a goal hanger, but to be honest, I don't know if he knows where he is or what sport he's playing. Much like a Kings student, to be honest.
Very droll, Andrew, but you might be laughing not so much more anymore if...
UCL stop another attack on the D. Kingsbury.
Matthew Whitey on the ball.
Here comes the
There's
rookie.
Whitey. Look at the physicality. Let's see. Oh,
The way he keeps going. He's one-on-one with the goalkeeper now.
Here
Open
away.
goal.
Oh,
and he's missed the
a
ball.
swing and the miss from Matthew Whitey. I don't know why I expected any different, to be honest.
It was incredibly anticlimactic, not nice from a King's position. I was sitting very firmly on the edge of my seat, but a rather embarrassing miss of the ball there, Andrew.
Matthew Whitey, he's probably forgotten about it. Look at him, he's reset completely. He doesn't know what's going on. Harrow boy, you know, but I don't know why he didn't go for that ball just then, but here we go. Kings looking to break the press here. They made some decent progress. And out of trouble now, looking to move it right. This is good. This is good stuff. I'm impressed. I can't lie. I'm impressed.
Kings starting to look better now, more comfortable in the game than they were at the beginning. But UCL ball again.
And it's that man Gola injects the ball into the D. Unfortunately, no Kings man on the end of it, and UCL clear their lines, but only as far as Ethan Kim, who picks it up on the halfway line. Bit of a battle there with their front man. Out wide to Gola, number 19. coming in at Social Sec for a second year, a role he loved so much last year. He thought he had to do it again. He just could not pass off the opportunity for organising socials. Ball out wide, back to Freddie, and unfortunately it's that big man, Fred, 1'5", blonde, similar to Kooks, who's now out on the right, and it's not a good link-up play, unfortunately. But nonetheless, positive signs.
Yeah, they look like they're coming back into the game, doesn't it? They look like they've got their handle on it a bit, and UCL should be a little bit worried, I think.
Watch out for an aerial here. We've got 2 runners in behind, but he doesn't go for it. There's a lot of blonde hair, blue eye stuff going on at Kings. You mentioned it several times now.
I think it's just standard hockey practice, don't you, Andrew?
I mean, here at UCL Hockey Club, we work hard for diversity and inclusion. No further comment.
Yeah, it's the game thus far has got into. It's struggled to find its rhythm. It's been a little bit bitty, as we'd expect of a varsity fixture. Neither side really making too much of an impression, I feel, on the other. I feel UCL perhaps have more of the ball, more attacking threat going forward, as they demonstrate here. Fails to pick the ball up. It's still in Kings' D. Lovely bit of skill there. Time off.
He loves stopping time, doesn't he?
Umpire, look, he's got his hand in his pocket, and it's a green card. It's that man, number 19. Andrew, thoughts at this time as UCL are now down to 10 men. Time off again. Shock. A yellow card, and UCL down to 10 men, and that's for a prolonged period of time. Some really meaningful minutes ahead for Kings. Andrew.
This is not fantastic. That's Mikey Barton, number 19, one of the more senior members of the squad. I imagine that must have been for some chat back. He's a counter-terrorism student. This is an aggressive game, and that's another yellow.
Second yellow card. This time for the
Kings.
Kings player, Louis.
This is absolutely astounding. 2 yellow cards in 2 minutes. This is nothing short of remarkable. Swashbuckling Swarbrick, that big man, number 8, he runs, and it is a long run from the other side of the pitch. Both umpires producing cards in a matter of mere minutes. This is a very, very interesting game now. 10 outfield players.
Do you feel like Kings managed to use that 10-man advantage they had for a brief period?
That 10 seconds was, I mean, we gained some considerable progress into their final third, but I mean, it's 10 apiece now, anyone's game as we go into the second half.
Monkey see, monkey do. That's what they do at Kings.
Monkey see, monkey do indeed, but can that big man, Tom Grout, number 17, dispossess, unfortunately, and now UCL have a chance to break on the right-hand side, and that indicative of the rather poor distribution from the back at times from UCL. It's gone straight out into the sideline.
As we enter the last 5 minutes of the half, I believe, I think UCL will be satisfied with the clean sheet here. With 10 men on the pitch, Mikey Barton, an important member of the team.
1-0 up as well, Andrew. That's
1-0
have
up.
some confidence.
It's got to be good for that. But at this point, to be honest, we should be looking at 2 or 3.
Obviously, a missed open goal as well from Whitey up front.
I mean, Whitey, I don't know. I honestly,
no words for him. No
honestly,
words.
he just don't mention it in the halftime huddle because he's probably forgotten about it. I think he's off. Is he on the pitch right now? He shouldn't be.
I think he's been sent off.
That was number 19, Mikey Barton, but I think he's
believe?
been subbed off. I didn't see it, to be honest. I mean, Coach Ahmed Khan, I'm sure he's got a lock on things. A very democratic coaching style. He wanted me to say democratic specifically. As UC take the ball on the break, I think that's Matthew Cavalier, number 4 here. Got a bit stuck on his feet, but here we go. Oh, that's number 3, Criddle. Very chiseled, and he gives it straight to Kings, which is not ideal.
Fantastically blocked by Toby Kingsbury, the captain, but he looks like he's been dispossessed in his own third. A right old battle there as it goes to the byline and runs ultimately for a 16. Tense moments here as it's 10 men on the field, 1-0 to UCL as we're closing in on that half-time whistle. UCL poised to begin another attacking phase, Andrew.
Speaking of Jacob Criddle, that reminds me of that's a dummy. We'll take that. We'll call that a dummy as we enter the D. It's a bit scrappy.
Kings win the ball.
It looks like a break and play here. I just quickly want to mention what Matthew Whitey told me. His philosophy towards playing hockey is, he said, "Look sexy, play sexy." And
has he done either yet?
That swing and a miss was. I'm not sure what that was, to be honest. But he got a fresh haircut, especially for this game, and Oh, that's
And
terrible from Kings. I'm not gonna lie.
Awful from Kings.
That's Louis must have slapping his thigh in frustration.
In the Kings third.
Maidman on the ball here. I think this is a UCL attack. Cavalier wants the ball. He's calling for it. He wants it. That's the difference between UC. We want the ball. Creativity, but not quite the end product.
Well, it's I'm certainly sure that wasn't intended there by UCL, but it's now a chance for Kings to get some meaningful possession, hopefully string some passes together, get further up that pitch, look for those channels as the big men up front. We've still got Tommy Kakurin and Harry Coulson on the pitch. To be honest, that's all we need. You can have your swashbuckling Swarbrick. He's not on, of course, much like another UCL man who have fallen victim to the yellow card. And it's a bit of a transfer around the back. Paddy Geddes to Mr. Kim, our most senior man, out to the newly bearded Aman Golar. Back to Mr. Kim. I'm sure his wife and children, similar to that of some of the UCL personnel, are tuning in. And back out to Golar. Indeed, a veteran of this game, and
Gets out again.
He's not using that experience to his best ability there as he passes it straight into the sideline.
I see he didn't get the brains in the family. His obviously, that's self-explanatory considering he's at Kings and his older brother's at UCL. But I think that play really demonstrates it there. Ed Peachy with a little run out to get the ball there. He's taken his helmet off, kind of indicative of the lack of work he has to do. But he's a great character, Ed Peachy, and even if he's not got much to do, he's a good part of the changing room. As we take it down the line here, Matthew Rogers. Oh, he takes the pass one. This is some good skill from him. And it's circle penetration there, but nothing comes.
Two players diving for the ball, both missing it, but great play by UCL.
Coach Amar Khan, he'll be furious with that. It's absolutely wasted. At the age of 49, he's upset. Oh my God, Cavalier is not running for the ball there.
Both players forgetting about the ball.
James
Great
Maiden,
tackle.
president, leads by example. That's a bit of Obama, I believe. That's the kind of president we want.
Andrew, what happened there between the UCL players? Lack of communication, the chemistry.
I'm not sure what happened there. Cavalier with this is the hottest England prospect in years, apparently, not running for the ball there. But Maidman comes in, cleans it up, and UC ball now. We're very comfortable, I think. Oh, I think that's a foot. Never mind. Amamoma, number 8 on the ball just there, the engine of the midfield and really the engine of the team. And the transfer. What I want to see from UCL here is really slow the ball down as we see another mistake from Cavalier. A bit of a shaky game.
England's prospects obviously not that great in the recent years.
Well, much like the football. We'll see what the result is later tonight against Austria.
And good luck to England, but good luck to Kings here, because they're going to need it if they're going to go and get a goal. It's tense here at the Lee Valley Hockey and Tennis Centre. The wind is blowing. Kings playing left to right in that scarlet red, and it's a tense affair. Either side not really managing to make any meaningful progress since those opening moments, of course, when UCL scored. Ethan Kinn, unfortunately, running the ball out of play there, and perhaps showing his age.
I think both teams perhaps sensing here we're close to half time, and thoughts on the first half. I think UC could be doing a bit better here as Kings come for somewhat. Oh, he's gone through the legs of Mr. Awamoma, and I'm not sure what that was from Maidman. We're not playing football. That was a bit of a slide tackle, to be honest. Thoughts on the first half, Louis?
Classic hockey varsity. That's my thoughts on it. It's we always knew it was going to be tight, a bit bitty, a bit tricky. A couple of yellow cards in there. Only one goal separating these two sides. And
fair score so far, Louis. Representative of the game.
I think so. KCL not really getting up into those higher parts of the pitch, not really dominating possession, but I'm sure that can be definitely amended into this second half. And they can definitely learn a few lessons from this first period of play, and hopefully once we get all 11 men back on the pitch and we can start attacking this UCL team.
And what do you think the coaches will be saying at half-time? What would be your advice?
To be honest, I'm not sure our coach at the ripe old age of 67 will be saying much, to be honest, but Mr. Amar Khan from Manchester, he went to Manchester University. Great hockey, and that's half time, ladies and gentlemen. 1-0, the score to UCL.
Hoping for more, Andrew? a few bad misses from UCL. I think we can agree.
I think, you know, I wanted 9 more goals, so it is. I don't do maths, but that's a lot of goals per minute. Can UCL do it? Yes.
And just quickly on what our veteran coach Tom Macon, of course, a man who's played in all 3 games, and Macon, a very divisive name at this varsity fixture. They've played on both sides of the battle lines, but I think he'll be asking for a little bit more of the same, less so in terms of retention of possession. But they'll be wanting to definitely get the balls into the channels, into the wide areas, and actually get some decent spells of possession and some shots on goal, which we have been crying out for this half. Really early swashbuckling Swarbrick, who can add his name to that list of shots on target there. But a good half, all round. 1-0 separates the 2 sides.
And that was quite a dull first half, but I'm sure the second half will be much better. And we're just going to take a break now, and we'll rejoin you in 10 minutes. And welcome back. It is 1-0 UCL here at Lee Valley Hockey Centre. And what are we looking for this half, guys?
Well, ultimately, a few more goals than the Kings then. That would be absolutely lovely. They do need to go and get 2 goals, ideally. No one wants flicks. I was talking to Andrew before the game. UCL don't want flicks. Kings don't want flicks. It's anyone's game when it gets down to that sort of level. And the attack here fizzling out for Kings. But ultimately, yes, more shots on target, more ball in the opposition D, and more outcomes from short corners.
To be honest, from the first half, I'm a bit disappointed as we see the lovely area. God, he's taking it half the pitch, to be honest. And as we go into the
UCL,
D,
man.
Here we go into the D, doing a bit of skill here, but taking more. And if that's short corner for UCL, that's well worked. That's a very good start to the half. This is exactly what they want. Yeah, as I was saying, to be honest, it's somewhat disappointing half. We didn't take our chances when we had it. And it will be difficult to reach the double digits that I predicted at the beginning of the game. And you know, the huddle, slightly tense, I won't lie to you, but I think some thought is good as we see them line up for the short corner. Matthew Cavalier on the injection as usual. Not sure
expecting same tactics we saw first half, passing it around the D from the short corner.
I don't know, man. But it's Gadsby stopping the ball, and it looks like Tim Rain lining up for the flick. Sort of meticulous German precision we're about to see. Top right corner is my prediction. Here we go. Setting up here. And it's a disaster. It's a disaster. Can't lie. That is, and by the way, that is England's most promising prospect. As he dribbles through the D. You know, he somewhat saves it, but that's a disaster. I won't lie to you.
Been a bit of a talisman so far.
And here comes that man, Tom Grant, number 17, takes it over the halfway line. He's got men in front of him, men to the left of him, and he passes it out right. It's swashbuckling Swarbrick into the D, gets it on his stick. Did it make contact there with a UCL foot or leg? No, says the umpire. And it looks like we're going to be taking a ball from outside. Little bit of afters there, handbags in.
Promising start though, Louis, to the second half.
I would say so. A nice break from the short, and Kings now in the attacking third in that UCL area. It's dangerous. It's Freddie on the right-hand side, looking for a bit of movement, looking for those runs. Tommy Kukurin running his socks off here, and Dave Swarbuck unfortunately picks it up on his foot, and it's a drag flick over in 2.
Here we go.
And now there's a break from number 9.
Sahir Patel, the fastest man in UCL Hockey Club, and he misses the goal again. That is the second chance he's had and the second chance he hasn't taken. And
Inches wide, though.
Honestly, that's the freshness coming out of him. You can see the pressure in him. He doesn't know what he has when he has it. And a bit of pressure there. A bit scrappy, but UCL on the ball again. Another chance. That's his foot. Oh, never mind. They know better than me. Why did I even breathe?
An exhausting start to proceedings here in this second half. We've been down both ends of the pitch and had opportunities also down both ends of the pitch. Good call from Tommy Kukurin. A nice spin out, and unfortunately can't link up with that man, Toby Kingsbury. A little bit frustrated, perhaps wanted the ball earlier there. Dave Swarbuck taking the ball. He outclasses number 2, takes it into that final third, and that is a slightly dangerous challenge. And the umpire pulling for his pocket. What colour is it? It's a green. Masked up against the grassy bank over on the left-hand side, and number 2 runs for the half line.
It's time to go and think about what you've done, don't you think?
I mean, that's our skipper Elliot Dennis. That's a bit of a disaster. Not a bit of a shaky half from beginning to the half from UCL. I'll be honest with you, but hopefully they'll be able to withstand the pressure here, as it's a Kings free here, and it's an interception from Cavalier. No, that's Criddle, Jacob Criddle. God, they got the same haircut. And Whitey on the ball here, pure physicality, pure skill. Nothing else inside the heads, and he fouls typically, of course.
Again, a missed opportunity there by Kings to get the ball into the D. We need these to get outcomes, get those goals. But here we go, another brilliant attack, and it's again thwarted by a watertight UCL defence, passing it and distributing it well. And Kings again. I received contact from last year's former illustrious president, who I was very grateful to take over from, left the club in great hands, and he's saying, tell the chaps that they're running into sticks too much, and I couldn't agree more, Barney. And there's a bit of a mix-up at the back here. What on earth is going on? Number 7 UCL takes the ball into the D. It looks like it should be advantage UCL, and it is played out, and a short awarded to UCL. Andrew.
Let's hope no more disasters for Matthew Cavalli. The most promising prospect in the history of England hockey. Will he get the injection on form? I know we've got another injector. We've got Mikey Barton who got the yellow card. I don't know if he's on the pitch. No, he's not. I would recognise his bleached hair anywhere. So it will be Cavalli on the ball again. What are they thinking this time? It's not the best of starts, but we have had 2 penalty corners, and that is something. Cavalli, he will be going for it again, as Sahir Patel walks away from the flick forlornly. To be honest,
great pressure on the Kings defense from another lob ball from the defense. Is that what UCL?
Well, I mean, that is straight off the training ground. I'll be honest. When we panic, we give it to Elliot, and Elliot knows best. But Elliot's not on the pitch, so I don't really know where that came from. A different style of injection and a flick, and it's not in. I didn't know that was actually a legal way of injecting the ball, to be honest. But it was a slap out, cut corners, but a decent shot and shots on goal. That'll please the stat man.
And Mr. Nemo Wong, hats off again. Another incredible save. Unfortunately, he had to make that one, but a fantastic save nonetheless. And he really has stepped up to the plate. A man who actually is not a goalkeeper by trade. He had to learn very hard and fast this year and elements of last. And he's a fantastic addition to this year's varsity squad. As Tom Grout looks down the line, unfortunately passes the ball, has a slight collision there with number 7. UCL look to get it out wide into that left-hand side, which seems to have an awful lot of space, worryingly, and there's got to be a man to get out there. Mr. Kim down that right-hand side, dispossessed by Paddy Geddes in his own third. Bit of a battle developing there, but he's given the ball away foolishly in his own half. A break, UCL on the ball, injects into the D, controlled by Golar, and a wild swing. Open play, UCL still with the ball into the D, no one to follow on to the end of it, Andrew.
I have to say, all of that play was with only 10 men on the pitch. Elliot Dennis only just came back as we see the shot go wide from Mr. Tim Rain, the German import himself. He's looked the most dangerous of all the UC players, I have to say, tonight. Very quiet from Whitey, apart from the big swing and the miss. So he needs to work on the look sexy, play sexy. He certainly looks sexy, the play not so much. I think the freshers have been snatching at chances a bit, but perhaps it's the excitement of varsity, excitement of the big game.
Number 19 back on for UCL as well, Andrew.
Number 19, Mikey Barton, recovering from his yellow. He has been brought on by Ahmed. Maybe he's decided they want a bit of fire into the game. And
it is with Kings there, following a
straight
foot there
to
by
UCL.
Unfortunately, there given straight away, as you say, by that man Patrick Geddes. Does he make up for it? He does. Puts in a big hit, but picked up by number 2, and we've got to find some sticks for these balls that are going flying around the turf with very little meeting them, and it's fortunately for Kings a Kings penalty about 10 metres inside their own half, and it's that man Golar distributes the ball back across. And hopefully all this distribution around the back can actually lead to something meaningful, and hopefully that all-important shot on goal. And he's dispossessed again. We just cannot keep hold of the ball. Andrew, surely UCL have got to capitalise on this.
Well, it's Tim Rain on the ball. If you want anyone on the ball, it's Tim Rain, and he gets out wide. I think that's the Criddle, number 3, and it is the Criddle, and they do that the long, and I know they've been practicing the longs. So whether Whitey can remember that, unsure, to be honest. But everyone else, they should be moving around. It's not been at the best of starts, but UCL they do have the possession. Cavalli on the ball now, and he gets it out wide. That's a great ball to Mr. James Mayman, and into the circle. Mr. Amar Moma on the ball, and I think that's a short corner for UCL. So we will see the short corner once again. We've had many short corners this game, to be honest, and none of them have been converted, which is disappointing.
Expecting more?
I only expect the best from UC. If it's going to be 10-0, we got to start the goals rolling, to be honest. So I think Cavalier will be on the injection again. I'm interested to see what they go for this time. Mikey Boston does walk away from the huddle early. Probably not involved. The counter-terrorism student himself. Here we go. Cavalier on the injection again. Elliot, the skipper's step back, so it looks like it will be Tim Rain on the ball. Here we go. The slap again out and into the drag flick, and it's in!
Oh,
that's a beautiful. That is straight off the training ground. I watched that exact goal on Sunday morning, and it's honestly stunning. That's 2 goals for Tim Rain. It's
Andrew,
going to
how
be
are
a hat
you feeling?
trick.
2-0 now.
I'm delighted for the boys. As we hear the Burlington Berties from the crowd, there's nothing. It's like coronavirus never happened, to be honest. Tim Rain, the German imports, coming to UC, blessing us with 2 goals, and Kings. Louis looks gutted. Louis, thoughts, feelings?
There are tears from Louis over there.
Gents, they're starting to well up in the eyes. There is going to be a heck of a long journey back for Kings here. There's still time on the clock. It's not out the question. Varsity has its trips, its tales, and hopefully this can be a tale of a great comeback, and Kings are going to surely need it here now. 2 goals to even level the score, and they're not going to do it with that, unfortunately.
Any hope in you, Louis, that is possible?
Absolutely. It's the King's spirit, it's the King's way. We never give up right until the end, and I do believe that the men out on the pitch, the coaching staff behind them, we've got a lot more fight to give, and we're going to have to start seeing it pretty soon.
I have to say, it was a shaky start from UC. The nerves were setting in. I was a bit worried. I won't lie to you, but Tim Rain comes in with his soothing German voice, with his soothing German play, and he gets rid of all my fears with that honestly, fantastic. You know, that goal really belongs here at the Lee Valley Hockey and Tennis Centre. Again, it's just not fantastic from Kings in the midfield. I think that's really where the battle's being won, as the ball lets it run, and it's a one-on-one with the keeper. Tim Rain on the ball, going for the hat-trick, and he gets the shot.
Was that a shot, Andrew?
Honestly, what Tim Rain does, I don't question, because he knows best, and I think he's sprinting off the substitution. Interesting choice.
Who's coming on for him now?
I think that might be the man himself. Look sexy, play sexy, Matthew White, number 7.
Happy to see him back on the pitch, no doubt.
I'm honestly, I mean, look at him. I'm delighted.
I feel like we're all lucky. Look sexy, play sexy. Let's see if he can deliver this time.
Honestly, I hope. The swing and the miss was terrible. I won't lie to you. As we see the ball come to the left, I believe that's Nemo himself on the ball again. And again in the midfield, Kings lose out. This is really, and Matthew White is on the ball. Physicality! Oh, that is some fantastic play on the ball. That's really, really very strong stuff. I believe that's Henry Hudson, the volunteering set, the man behind the lovely videos you saw on the UCL Instagram. And if you haven't seen them, go check them out. Because
Hotting up now in the second half.
Well, I think that goal has really given UCL some confidence. And again, the umpire blows.
Yep, and it's Max Lovis who wins that. He's glad to be back on the pitch, rolling substitutes, keeping those legs fresh, and hopefully Kings do have a lot of freshness still left in them, and boy, they're going to need it here as we're closing in on a 2-0. They're staring down the barrel of a defeat here. I do believe that Kings still do have the minerals to get in there, get those 2 goals, level the score, and perhaps even go one better, but they're going to need to actually linking some passes together, getting the balls in those wide areas, and getting some outcomes in the D. Shorts, goals, we don't care at this point, but something's got to count and give very, very soon. Mr. Kim straight in to the top of the D. Toby Kingsbury battling it out, the captain. Bit bobbly, bit lucky there perhaps for Kings to maintain possession. Dave Swarbuck, number 8, takes it out wide, in with the chip, intercepted, and again falls to Kings. Pressure mounting for UCL. Could this be the breakthrough moment? It will only take 1 goal, and we're right back in this. Ball into the centre of the penalty block. It's bobbling about. Was that a UCL foot? Dispossessed by Swarbuck and away by UCL out on the left-hand side.
England's top prospect sorting out the defence there.
You know, he can't do short corners, but he can do everything else. And honestly, that's my hockey son. He's my hockey son, and I'm not joking, because he is my hockey son.
You're a proud father tonight, Andrew.
I couldn't be more delighted. As we go into the D, and it's somewhat lucky from UCL, but a wild swing from a cross like that isn't perhaps what you want. Louis, do you think you could have added anything to the Kings team tonight?
Well, that's a bit of a tricky question. You know, I like to think that my work rate's emanated by the fellows that are out there on the pitch, and definitely spirit is not something that I would need to have to bring to the table. It's still out there, but this is promising play from Kings. Pressure mounting. Unfortunately dispossessed there. A bit of a break by UCL. Out into the attacking third. Cover up there needed, and the ball runs
And just a quick message here, and even though UCL and KCL are going head-to-head to win the title of Varsity Champions, both sides are, of course, in a fight to keep the Student Central swimming pool open. And so if you're...
And that's a no goal there. Thank goodness gracious for that. And it falls to Kings. Sorry,
got the
Harry.
better of us there, but yeah, we're trying to keep the swimming pool open, and please join in this fight and go to the bio of the TeamUCL Instagram and sign the petition to keep the activity space alive. Thank you.
They do pick their moments, do they, the UCL? They're always going for it. As again, Kings just find themselves in a bit of trouble in the sort of the middle third of the pitch. I think that midfield of led by Jacob Criddle really do again the interception from Criddle himself as he takes the ball down the right. Whitey not really moving, but he's on the ball now. Let's see what he does with it. He mistouches it, but still on the ball, and he gives it away.
Classic from him, Andrew.
Honestly, at this point, Whitey, what are you doing? He's gonna watch this replay, and he's got to be disappointed. The thing is about this UCL Varsity squad, the freshers are really fantastic as the Kings look for an attack.
Now this is fantastic. This is exactly what we need from Kings. A good breakaway play from Tom Grant, and that is a very overzealous challenge on the line of the defensive part of UCL's third, and he's got his hand in his pocket. He's pinching for that piece of green plastic. And it looks like, yet again, it's a yellow card, number 2. I tell you what, Kings have got to take this game now by the scruff of the neck. He's off for a prolonged period of time. They've got the short corner. They've got the men forward, the numerical advantage. They've got to start taking advantage here. It's one goal which is going to make this game count, and Kings have got to score it soon if they want to win this game.
Andrew, feelings on that call? Fair call from the referee?
I mean, it is a bad tackle, and it was his second big one of the evening. And to be honest, this is Elliot's first varsity. He was in the squad last year. He missed out because of injury. Perhaps the nerves are setting in for the skipper here tonight. It's his first varsity, but he can't be happy with that.
Kings poised over the ball, ready for their first short corner of this second half, and they've got to take this chance. It's Tom Grout with the injection on the byline. Orange stick on orange ball. Good injection, could be quicker. Harry Coulson in with a direct hit, bobbles up, and unfortunately it was not quick enough. It wasn't quick enough in the shot, it was not quick enough in the delivery, and Kings have got to take these chances. And Thomas York out to the byline to pressure the ball, but it's not looking good in terms of conversion of short corners for Kings. They've got to win outcomes. They've got to win this game. And Kings picking the ball up by our resident Spaniard and social sec, formerly of this year and next year, of course, the president of the club. And it's out Tommy Kukurin, the Finnish man, blonde hair, blue eyes, to another blonde, and it's down on the right hand side. A little bit bitty in there. Good defence from UCL. Dispossessed, still with Kings. Really good, meaningful pressure and possession here. Again in their attacking third. Takes it to the byline, gets it into the D. Wild swing, and that is a short, rightly so. Very dangerous play there. Davis Swarbuck drawing the foul. Fantastic. Can they now capitalise? Fist bumps all round, and hopefully there'll be some post-goal fist bumps if this ball goes into the back of the net, but they've got to get a good delivery and a good strike on target. Are you nervous, Andrew?
I've got to say that I think there's some changes coming from the UCL dugout, but it's been a nervy few minutes for UCL. Some not fantastic tackles. We've got Mr. Gadsby from hailing from Cambridge back in defence. Don't ask him about his gap here because he won't stop talking about it, and it's boring.
And that's Tommy Kukurin on the byline. He's got to get a better delivery in. Let's see what he can do here. Come on, you Kings men. Good delivery. Straight in with the strike. And there it is. It's swashbuckling Swarbrick. And he runs back to the halfway line, having smashed the ball into that. And he's fired Kings into a contesting position. It's 2-1.
That's very disappointing for UCL. I must apologise for any unsavoury language. It's all in the heat of the moment. As UCL get to a quick start. Again, my apologies.
Now this is exactly what Kings wanted. It was an outcome that they needed. It was an outcome that they got. Swashbuckling Swarbrick firing Kings into a 2-1 position. And can they use this to their advantage? They're in the ascendancy here. This is really, really positive stuff from Kings. But ultimately, there's still a long way to go in this fixture. There's still time on the clock. And I tell you what, this is the makings of a varsity classic. Can Kings come back and clutch again from the jaws of defeat? It's Swashbuckling Swarbrick, and he couldn't find his way through that time.
Louis, how are you feeling now that you've got a goal back? Surely the second is only around the corner.
Well, I tell you what, I do hope so. And time, as I say, still very much on the clock. Although time is not our friend in this instance, we are fighting against two enemies here, UCL and the clock. We've got to get this goal soon. We've got to get it whilst we have the ascendancy that we've gained from that goal. And what a goal it was, by the way, finally converting on the many short corners we've had. And it had to be that one man, that big bearded fellow up front, Dave. And hopefully he's got another one in the tank. And much like some of the other forwards there on display tonight, Harry Coulson, Tommy Kukurin, these are some big names, and hopefully these are names that we will see on the score sheet.
Kings' defence doing much better now. It seems the goal has brought them to life as well.
Well, yes, I mean, ultimately, hopefully they've worked their way into the game. They've got some good, meaningful touches on the ball, but not one there by Max Lovis. He gives the ball away now. UCL on the break.
Here we go. So here Patel, again, sort of snatching at the opportunity. They're not quite controlling the ball. As Moment in an advanced position. Again, it's the Kings' counter-attack. And UCL do deal with it eventually. So what I really want to see from UCL now is to settle down, perhaps slow the pace of the game down. Elliot Dennis isn't on the pitch anymore after his yellow card, I do believe. But what I do want to see them slow the game down. They're in control. They are in control. The score is 2-1. But Kings definitely with the upper hand right now. They look most dangerous.
Yes, I would agree, and it's just now using that ascendancy to our advantage, the numerical one as well, and it's something that, by goodness, we needed to capitalise on and did, and that's a lovely bit of turn from Paddy Geddes all the way from Northern Ireland. The ball out wide to Freddie, collides in the middle of the pitch there, and he's clutching his leg. That doesn't look very good. Time off from the umpire, and is this because of a potential injury? It doesn't look good for the man. He's walking a bit gingerly after that head-on collision, but as is the King's way, he slaps hands with Tommy Kukurin, jogs back to his position, and is going to be relieved by the much greater experience of Mr. Kim. Time now indicated by the umpire as back on UCL with the ball in their own third. A feature we've seen a lot more since the turn of the second half, Andrew.
Yeah, it's not fantastic. As if he missed the Jimbo Jet himself on the ball here, earning I believe that's a free hit for UC on the sideline. There is some sort of song coming from the UC crowd. I'm not entirely sure what it is, but it's good to see that we've brought a crowd. Where's the Kings crowd tonight, Mr. Muston?
I'll tell you where the Kings crowd are. They're in Newcastle, Nunnington, and everywhere else in between. They're in the vault. They're at home. They're on YouTube. They're with us in spirit. We can feel your presence wherever you are. If you're watching us in the vault, on YouTube, on the live stream, on Raw, on anywhere else, please do raise your voices, support these men, get them over the line. We're in the ascendancy here. It's a fight of our lives as we're one goal down in this varsity match. And boy, do we need your help. We can feel your presence in spirit, of course. Unfortunately, you cannot be here, but isn't it great to see these two sides back after the pandemic playing some great hockey?
So here Patel stretching out his legs there, the fastest man in the club allegedly. As he that's a very acrobatic way of going for the ball as the umpire waves for 16. So if he does want it, I feel like UCL playing with some added urgency, but they do need to just remember the basics here as Amar Moment makes his way over to the sideline. Again, Kings really break through the midfield here, and Louis Muston getting very excited as the Kings attack peters out to no avail. Frustration written on the face of the president of Kings there.
Yes, I mean, every time we get into that final third, it's just making sure we get a good outcome, we get a ball on a foot, or we get something meaningful in the D, and not being able to capitalise on it there. Ultimately, a frustration. for us. And Harry Colson caught napping slightly there on the right-hand side as UCL progress left to right, down now in the final third. Ball out to number 8. Lovely bit of touch and control. He gets himself in a good position there.
Oh, he squeezed it in. He's squeezing at the far corner.
I think that's Mikey Barton making up for his yellow card early in the game. But you know, that's the counter-terrorism coming in. They realise what Kings is all about, and he's been terrorising the defence all day. And I'm ecstatic for him, to be honest.
And it has to be in the bleached blonde hair as well, doesn't it? Blinding the goalkeeper right there. Can't see it coming.
I mean, that's natural. You can't coach that, to be honest. That's straight from the heart, and it's really sensational to see. I honestly think that's probably put the game to bed. I wouldn't be surprised if you see a couple more from UC.
Well, I tell you what, Andrew, next goal for me would have won it, and it pains me to say that UCL have scored it, but Kings definitely not giving up here. Time still on the clock. And we've done it before, we can do it again. That's time off. The umpire shakes his head, reaches for his pocket. That's another yellow card.
UCL's number 12 walking off.
That is Oliver Gadsby. He's a fiery one. I won't lie to you. I almost had to send him off myself in a training game. But number 22 on the long corner here. A chance for Kings. Let's see if they convert.
Now I tell you what, if ever we needed a situation where we had a numerical advantage and a nice position further down the pitch in the attacking third, it was now. We must score now. Lively, Swarback on the byline, bit of skill, sets up the shot, deflected, good save.
Fantastic save from the reserve goalkeeper there for UCL.
Short corner, fantastic work there by Kings. Fist bumps all around from the boys in red. They still believe, I believe, and I'm sure everyone watching at home still believes we can do it. We've done it before. We did it from a short. Can we do it again? It looks like there may be an element of deja vu to this with a man off for UCL and a short corner for Kings.
I have to say, I'm not sure about the decision there. Obviously, from where I'm sitting, it's difficult, but and of course the umpire knows best. But I'm not too sure about that. But Ed Peachy, he hasn't been tested too much this evening, but let's see if he really earns his place in the once night.
Tommy Kukurin, good delivery. That's fast. Into Swarbuck, bit of skill. Out to Fred. Miscontrolled. Bobbling about.
It's nowhere.
Where is it? On the P-flick spot. And
They
away
get
by
rid of
UCL.
it. Fantastic defence.
Frustration from the Kings players on the pitch. That's all spirit there. The UC players just wanted it more than Kings, I have to say, in the D there.
All the Kings horses and all the Kings men, and they couldn't get it in the goal.
Bentham would be proud. Diaz, oh, the umpire's blown again for Kings. God, how much did you guys pay him tonight? Louis, be honest with me.
Well, I cannot speak on behalf of payment. I'm not entirely sure. And that nearly went into the goal. And this is great from Kings, and to no avail. I tell you what, they've gone right back at UCL. Credit to the men on the pitch. They did not let their heads drop. It's the Kings way. It's the Kings spirit. We've gone straight back at them, staring down the barrel of a 3-1 defeat. And by golly, we're having a good crack at them. And we will not give up until the final whistle. Very indicative of this battle. Won by Max Lovis. Out to Dave Swarbuck, top of the D. Bit of skill. It's bobbing about. It's another short. Fantastic. Come on, you Kings. Lots of red men up top, lots of red men round the D, and it's another short. Come on, you boys.
I have to say, the Jimbo Jet looking very Boeing 737 right just there. He gives away the ball in a dangerous area, and Kings get the short corner. But neither team, to be honest, have been fantastic with the short corner. But this is a big moment for Kings.
Andrew Peach having the game of his life. Surely he's earned a solid place in the team now.
Honestly, I'm gutted for him because he's leaving the best team, which is the twos, of course, for the ones. And I don't think we'll ever see him again. But these things happen.
Another good delivery needed. Not as good as previous, but it's Swarbuck with the reverse. And great save by the keeper, actually rather comfortable.
Keeper, Peachy,
and the ball
back
goes
again
to the byline on the left. It is picked up by that man, Fred, in the attacking third again. Lots of pressure, all Kings at the moment, and by goodness does it need to be. Dispossessed here though now. It's number 2, UCL on the break. They've only got one man forward.
But that one man is Tim Rain, and who else do you want forward? As the umpires blow up and stop time again. Gosh, Ed Peachy's got to be delighted with that.
Yellow card for Kings, number 15 it seems.
Number 15 of the yellow card. Kings, they've lost their heads. I'm telling you, they didn't have heads in the first place, but they've lost them. Ed Peachy shouting now. He's all fired up. He swats away that ball like I swat a fly.
No, and I must correct you there. Unfortunately, it's not 15. It's our own captain, Toby Kingsbury, indicative of the fight and the passion that he's displaying there on the turf. A good ball in.
That is a fantastic goal from Mikey Barton there. Tim Rain scored 2 goals, and Mikey Barton thought, I want some of that, and he scored 2 goals himself. The Nottingham psychology graduate. He came to UCL. He realised poly life wasn't for him. He said no to Kings. He said no to everywhere else. He came to UCL and he's just scored 2 goals at VARSITY, and I'm delighted for him.
Scoring out to 4 as Louis holds his head in his hands.
Louis, remind me what the score is now.
Look at the pitch.
Remind me. Say it loud and proud.
It's 1-4 to Kings, and unfortunately now it is going to be one heck of a mountain to climb. If it wasn't big enough already, it certainly is almost impossible now as we are approaching the closing stages of this game. I tell you what though, credit to the gents out there on the pitch. Again, indicative of the Kings spirit, not giving up, going straight at them from the off. And it's just been perhaps at times not good enough man for man on the pitch. But the spirit is there, the intent is there, the fight is there, and can Kings regain and reclaim a little bit of dignity in these dying and closing stages of this game? And Golar is set to do that here. Passes it to Marcus on the right-hand side of the pitch. A wild lunge there by number 2, but the referee plays on and waves advantage. Consolidated there by UCL and Andrew. What about that?
They're playing with confidence now, and this is what I wanted to see from the off. You see they're a very technical team and they're really showing us today. It was a cheeky flick from Mikey Barton to number 19 to score that goal. As number 14, Henry Hudson, I believe, on the ball now into the D, waiting for his teammates, but he's going by himself.
And it's
just
5-1!
A sensational goal. Number 14, Henry Hudson, volunteering step, a lady's favourite. He just scored the goal. He comes from Marlborough. Kate, Duchess of Cambridge, if you're watching, that one was for you.
Barely 5 minutes left now on the clock, Louis. The score is 5-1. Surely it's all but over.
And the Burns and Berties come out.
It's a sad day. It is a sad day. 5-1, and by goodness, it's not one that I wanted or expected even to see, but a lofted ball forward to Harry Coulson and a tangle up there, and well done to that UCL
Peachy
goalkeeper. Fantastic play. But listen, it is more and more likely now that Kings perhaps will have to concede defeat, but it's not over until the fat lady sings, as they say, and I hope she never does sing, because unfortunately that will mean the inevitable demise of this game and indeed our attempt at securing victory. A lofted ball over to Jack Berg, top of the D. And
well, the fat lady won't be singing all week, as we've got more performances all week, and as it stands, UCL will be going into the lead of the VARSITY competition 4-3, with rugby being played tomorrow.
Yes, and Harris, I must say that miscontrol there by Harry Coulson down the left-hand side, a little bit indicative of Kings today. Just a little bit off the boil, not getting ball to stick enough. Nemo out there with the clearance. He has been solid. That has been one feature of Kings' game today, and that has been a solid performance from our Kings man in the between the sticks. Is that
despite the 5 goals he's let in?
Listen, hockey's a fast-paced game, lots of goals, lots of balls flying around, and I would say that he has put in a very good shift at the back there, goal-saving challenges and blocks. I mean,
saves have surely found Nemo, but it seems that Kings have been unfortunate to find any way past the UCL defence, unfortunately.
A lovely Disney reference there, and
Tim Rain, hat-trick.
Unfortunately, one that I would rather not be hearing on this sad day. That's a great block by Golar. Still fight from the men in red yet. Unfortunately, a botched clearance.
Another goal for UCL!
No idea who that is.
I tell you what, this is starting to get a little bit embarrassing. Kings have done so well up until these last 3 minutes. Toby Kingsbury, the captain, trots back onto the pitch after his yellow card. Can he be the calming influence in the closing minutes of this?
Number 20 there with a goal.
That's Matthew Rogers. I think we're going to see the double digits that I wanted all along. They were just keeping us in suspense. They were keeping us watching, and this is the performance I wanted to see. I think Kings really, they did hold for a little bit. Congratulations to them. They held up 40 minutes, but after that, they've got nothing left. And this is where the superior. I want to see a goal for Matthew Whitey here. I'll be honest. Look sexy, play sexy. He was bigging himself up before the game. I want to see a goal. I want to see a goal from a fresher.
He's
Any
simply
fresher.
walking now.
He's on the ball.
Here
Here we
he
go,
is,
and
and
he gives
he's
it straight
lost
away.
it.
I won't lie. That's what he's been doing most games, most of the game. But UCL ball here. Let's see if we can get the ball to Whitey. See
Right.
what he can do. Give him a little bit of room to play. We'll
Andrew,
see what happens.
but at least you're happy with the play sexy part. He's brought that.
I mean, that is the most important part. He does bring that sort of... Luke Cargan's not on the pitch, so he brings the sex appeal when it's somewhat missing. As King's on the ball here again, but I think all UC want. 3 of their players have scored a goal. And you know, Matthew Rogers, an unlikely candidate to score a goal. And it was good to see him celebrating against his former team there. He doesn't care. He's a bit of Adebayor, perhaps. Celebrating his former team. There's nothing on for Kings. You know, they get into the D again, but there's nothing there. I think they just simply, they don't want it, and they can't play at this level. And I think...
And Louis, we came out into the second half with so much energy from Kings, so many opportunities in the D, and they've just all seemed to have evaporated recently in the past few minutes.
And you know what? That, in a way, is the beauty of hockey. It's a fast-changing, fast-paced game, and Kings gave it an absolutely fantastic effort right up until the closing moments. Of course, when we have now shipped subsequently a couple of goals, we gave a great account of ourselves, coming back, scoring the goal to take it 2-1, and really only in the recent minutes have we fallen a little bit short of the mark. But I just want to point out, gents, I'm sure you'll all agree with me today, that the real winner today, despite whatever the outcome is of course the players and all of us being able to provide this commentary and this entertainment for you today after, of course, these many long months locked up and not doing the things that we, of course, love to do. But I would just like to say thank you to all those who have hosted us at Lee Valley, and it is a shame Kings now are staring down the barrel of defeat, but great to see some hockey on display today.
Louis, I couldn't disagree with you more, mate. To be honest, London is purple tonight. The only thing that I see
London bleeds purple and turquoise for hockey.
It's a fat W for UCL, and I'm delighted. Is that the full-time whistle? That's the full-time whistle.
6-1. Andrew, proud of your team?
I am ecstatic. I couldn't hear the Kings crowd all night, to be honest. And
Andrew, I don't think they're here.
They didn't show up, and much like their team, they didn't show up. They scored 1 goal. We gave them 1 goal. It's charity work. We love charity work at UCL Hockey Club. But 6-1, it's a shutout. Let's be honest, that's a 5-goal difference, Louis. That's a 5-goal difference.
Louis, final match
you all
thoughts?
night, and I think, to be honest, I think we can agree it was deserved. Kings did look dangerous at times, but ultimately a UCL win, and that's the only thing that matters.
Louis, thoughts? Deserved on the UCL side?
Credit to UCL, some brilliant goals, individual efforts, and some all-round good play there. Can't take that away from them. Ultimately, that was reflected in the scoreline. I just want to pay tribute to the Kings men out on the pitch, and indeed, it's with a heavy heart that I bid this great university and club farewell, and I have subsequently come to the end of my tenure as president, and indeed tenure at this club as I conclude my history degree. But I may not be back next year, but the boys in red will roar again, and hopefully we will challenge for that all-important hockey win in a year's time.
And of course, thank you to Louis and Andrew here for commentating with us and fighting us through this amazing evening here in Lee Valley. With the UCL win tonight, that takes the varsity scores to 4-3 to UCL, leading the competition going into the Thursday competition.
Join us again for women's and men's rugby tomorrow.